Welcome. Today I want to answer a comment that I received on a video. I'm going to read the comment first, and then I'm going to do my best at answering this question that they have. And if you have any comments or anything you want to say regarding this topic, please leave it in the comments. So here's the comment that was left on a video. I am in 6th grade and have started working through Intermediate Algebra by Tussey and Gustafson because I want to learn more about mathematics. I also got College Algebra by Blitzer. Do you have any tips for me? So first of all, wow, awesome comment. Thank you so much for the comment. Thank you for reaching out. Second, I want to say wow again. You're doing intermediate algebra and college algebra in 6th grade. Like, that's amazing. When I was in 6th grade, I was playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater and going to the skate park and listening to Slipknot. I was not worrying about intermediate algebra. I wasn't even worrying about 6th grade math at the time. But so that's really, really cool. About your books, I'm not familiar with the Intermediate Algebra by Tussey and Gustafson. I have a couple intermediate algebra books. I don't think I have that one though. It doesn't sound like anything that I've come across. But I do have the Blitzer College Algebra book right here. I've taught out of this before. So I do have some information I'll give you about this textbook. Intermediate algebra, though, what I'm going to say about this textbook is the same that I'd say about intermediate algebra, like how you go about doing the actual problems. But before I even get into just how to manage your way through these textbooks, I just want to say in general tips. You're in 6th grade. My first piece of advice that I want to give you is don't burn out. You have a lot of education still ahead of you. You don't want to be in a position where you get to sophomore or junior year of high school and then you're already starting to feel like I got to do this homework assignment, I got to do this paper. It's really a long time away. You're in 6th grade. You have all of junior high. Not sure actually what school system you're in, but I'm going to assume that you have some sort of junior high system wherever you are, and a high school system, and then college. It's a lot of education. And I want to give the example of when I taught 8th grade. My last year teaching 8th grade, I taught honors geometry. So this was a geometry class that was for 8th graders, honors level. So this is like a sophomore level high school class given to 8th graders. And the students in that class were top of the top, like top tier, best students that you could ever ask for type of students. I could see it in a lot of those kids in that class that they're already starting to burn out. Because if you think about to the point where they're at, if you're at an honors geometry level class in 8th grade, you've had to take some algebra way before that even, and some honors algebra, and at 5th, 6th, 7th grade are probably all difficult. And not even just math. A lot of them are taking advanced literature, sophomore and junior level high school classes as an 8th grader. They're taking science classes. They're in band. They are in chess club. They are in cross country. They're in track, all these different sports. They're in these honor societies. They just have so much going on. Like, I would talk to my students the next day, like, hey, what'd you do last night, or what'd you do over the weekend? Oh, last night I had cross country till 7, and then we had to go to the band recital, and then I got home at like 9:30. Then I had to sit down and try to study for it was just a mess. It was just so much that they had to do, so much they had to manage, and I felt bad for some of them because I could tell that they didn't really want to do it. Like, it was just too much for them. And remember, you're in 6th grade. These kids were in 8th grade. You're just kids. So don't burn yourself out. If you don't want to sit down and do problems, don't do problems. It's fine. If you're even looking at intermediate algebra books right now and you're understanding them and able to work your way through some of these exercises, you are so far ahead of the curve. It's crazy. So don't feel like you have to sit down and do this. Enjoy whatever else you want to enjoy. Like I said, I was going to the skate park all the time. I was hanging out with my friends. I was listening to Slipknot and playing PlayStation 2. Like, I was not doing anything constructive. So this is great. So just don't burn yourself out. And then one more tip I want to give before I get to the actual managing the textbook and everything. Only do it if you're enjoying it. Make sure you're happy working on these, because I'm sure you have some sort of school life where you have to be at school all day. Maybe you're in some sort of sport or other activities, And then you get home at night, and do you really want to spend your time at night doing math? And I'm not saying that you should be sitting there like I did doing nothing, but don't do it every single night. Like, try to manage your time. Like, say every Monday and Wednesday, I'm going to sit down, try to work through a couple sections, and then Tuesday, Thursday, I'll do something fun for myself. Just hang out with my friends, do whatever you want to do, and just as long as you like it, just keep doing it as long as you like it. If there's ever a moment where you're like, I'm not really enjoying this right now, don't do it. You have plenty of time to find that love again. You don't want to burn yourself out by the time you get to college. It happens with athletes all the time too. I mean, how many athletes have you heard about where they're this prodigy, this 6th grade, 7th grade prodigy? They're going to make it to the NFL. They're going to make it to the NBA. They're going to be the fastest runner ever. They're going to go to the Olympics. They're the best swimmer. You hear it all the time, and then they just burn out. They never actually pan out in those situations. Yeah, few actually do live up to the expectations, but throughout their whole life they face these pressures of having to perform at the very high level, the very best, and being so young and not getting a chance to be a kid. So you don't want that to happen. So just keep doing it as long as you are enjoying it, is some advice that I can give you. Now, in terms of actually, like, what do you do about going through these books? What do you do about actually, like, how many problems should I be doing? So these books are really well written, at least the College Algebra Blitzer book is. What you should do is just work through the section, and at the end of every section, you'll have, let me just pull up a section here. I know you won't be able to see it through the camera, but I just want to give you some idea here. Let me go to, I just opened it up randomly to quadratic equation. Let me find the exercises here. So you'll notice in like a exercise set, and like this is after the section is over, you'll notice that there's like chunks of problems. I would focus on like the biggest chunks that you can find. Like in this random section I just pulled up, there's definitely a focus on these type of topics, and then it starts to filter down. So really focus on those. Do a handful of problems from each of those main sections. Don't feel like you need to go through every one of these exercises, because each section has well over 100 problems. Like this section has 100, and I'm still flipping, 179 problems. So this one section alone has 179 problems. I'm just curious, does every section have that many problems? I'm going to section 3-2 now. How many does this have? 115. 115. Okay, so still a lot. You'll be wasting a lot of time trying to do every single exercise. I would just focus on the main chunks of problems. So I just open up to another random section, and you can see again, there's a focus on this topic, and then this topic, and then it starts to filter down. Like it even like changes like the names. So just focus on like the first 50 to 70-ish problems, and not do every single problem in that set, but just try to do a couple from each one, and then just, check your understanding. The chapter tests at the end of every chapter, I find, are pretty difficult at times. Like I think they pull really weird problems as their chapter test. So don't use that as your guideline of do you understand the content or not. Just use the exercises in the back of the section. If you're able to go through those exercises and you're checking your answers and you're getting them right, then you should feel pretty good. Try to do the chapter test if you want, not discouraging you from doing that, but just keep in mind, I do find those chapter test exercises to be a little bit on the more difficult side. I typically don't pull problems from those chapter tests as part of my tests, so I feel like students really struggle with them. Good problems though. That intermediate algebra book you mentioned, I don't know what it is, but if it has the same design, then just do that. And I would just work through the section notes, like just do the examples, like work through the examples. They even give you, for each section in at least this college algebra book, they give you an example. And then there's a checkpoint. So like right here, I know you probably can't see this, but that's okay. They give you an example, and then right after that example, there's a checkpoint. You can check your answer. And they even provide the answers to those checkpoints. So it's a really nice way to give yourself some feedback of if you're doing it right or wrong. But this is great. Thank you so much for sending this comment, and really, really good luck to you. And please don't burn out. Please do not do math until the point where you are tired of math. Just do enough to just keep feeling like, okay, I'm enjoying this. And then once you start to get to that point of, this isn't exactly super fun right now, stop. Don't force yourself to work for 2 hours on a Friday night on College Algebra. Like, just take a break, Try it next Friday if you want. But if you're not feeling it that day, don't force yourself. Please don't do that. All right, well, good luck. Thanks again.